Okay, let me apologize now. I'm probably going to offend people. If you're under 15, you probably shouldn't be watching this video. I'm probably going to say some filth, flying filth. If you are a parent and you want to get your kid into martial arts, this is where you need to sit your ass down. Alright? So, there are many different forms of martial arts. There are many different masters of martial arts. There are many different people who are going to teach you a different martial art. And I'm here to tell you what are your options. Alright, first and foremost, I want to talk about why I haven't had an opportunity. Alright? So, I graduated high school in 1993. Whew, ancient times for some of you. So, I've been doing martial arts since I was 7 years old. I have had some street fights, which I also mentioned in my live streaming on Instagram today. I have been fighting in the streets since I was 6 years old until I was 12 years old. Somewhere between the age of 7 and 12, I picked up a lot of karate, and I utilized that karate in my street fights. And sadly, you get real good at fighting or you get really bad at fighting. And that's just how that works, alright? I'm not tooting my own horn, I'm just telling the truth. I had motivation of fear because of the situation was you beat him or you fight us. I'm leaving all names and stuff off for significant reasons because back then it was legal. There's probably a statute of limitation there, but now shit like the shit I've been through as a child was like totally illegal, totally child abuse. Anyway, being forced to fight from the age of 6 to 12, you get a little gist of my little history when I tell you I can fight. It's no bullshit because I've been fighting on the streets since I was fucking 6 years old. It wasn't a choice. It wasn't a right. It was do or die. That's pretty much the gist of it. And in my neighborhood, that's just what people did. You know, black people, that's just what we did. Right? Yes, I am part Cherokee Indian. That has nothing to do with this video at all. But just so that everyone knows, I do often introduce myself as James Williams Jr., being part Cherokee, part black, and part white, because that factor is true. Nothing to do with my fighting ability. Right? It might have something to do with my temper, but nothing to do with my fighting ability. So when I started learning karate from 7 to 10, it was free, and the guy shut down. So I continued to practice what I practiced. As I grew up through the projects, I fought until I was 12. My dad snatched me off a kid that I had to fight like almost all the time, and I've apologized to that kid so many times that he threatened to shoot me if I apologized once more. From 12 until I was 15, I hadn't had any more fights. And I was beginning to think that I couldn't fight. But when I was 15, I had a fight for 4 days in 1 week. And the first fight happened on a Monday over fingernails and teeth. That guy's still my friend. The second fight didn't go to fisticuffs because someone else used my reputation to scare them, and I just knew that my ass was going to get kicked, so that went away. Wednesday, I had a free day. There was no fights. Thursday, the guys who I had a problem with on Tuesdays, younger brother and I had at it because we was playing wrestling, and apparently I kicked him too hard because it was 4-on-1. My friend D, not D Nice, this is another D, it was before I ever met D Nice. His last name is H. So DH and I was playing wrestling. He happened to be Sting because he called them first, and I had to be Rugged Ronnie Garvin with the hands of stone. Shout out to Rugged Ronnie Garvin if you're still living. So, somewhere in the middle of the match, I was losing. It was a 4-on-1 beatdown because it was a 2-on-4 handicap match on a pissy mattress. So, yeah. The 4 guys jumped me on my side. I couldn't make the tag. And panic and instincts, they're kind of a dangerous combination. After this day, I never panicked anymore. Kinda. So, I really wouldn't say it was more panic. It's more flight or fight now. But anyway, back then I was like 15. So, one guy had me here, and 2 guys had my legs. Well, one of the guys who had issues with me on Tuesday, brother, had this leg. So, I got these 2 guys. Let me back up. So, as they're beating me and everything, and I couldn't reach the tag, and I looked over to DH and I said, what am I supposed to do? He said, hey, dumbass, you know Kung Fu. me forever trying to be an actor, staying in character with Rugged Ronnie Garvin. I said, but Rugged Ronnie Garvin doesn't know Kung Fu. He said, look, I'm pretty sure that if Rugged Ronnie Garvin had 4 dudes on him right now, hands of stone or not, this motherfucker would probably know Kung Fu. So thank you, DH, because that's kind of how all that shit started. So I used Kung Fu. Wasn't supposed to, but like I said, panic kind of kicked in more ways than one. So I slung the 2 guys on my arms into each other. And by the way, when you are wrestling, please be careful, because the moves are fucking real, okay? So those guys bumped heads and they fell on the pissy mattress. They rolled off the pissy mattress. This dude, I dragged my leg forward, and he went through. As he come through, I chopped him, so he kind of went down. He rolled on the pissy mattress. But this guy had gorilla grip. So I snatched my leg forward, and I pushed it back, and I got him in the solar plexus, and he dropped. And then he got mad. So he went and picked up a stick, and I picked up an iron pipe, and I said, you hit me first, and we're going to see what happens after this iron pipe gets wrapped around your neck. So that ended the fight right there. He dropped the pipe, well, he dropped the stick, I dropped the pipe. We went on about our day. Thought I was good for the rest of the week until my younger sister and I got into it, and she hit me in the head with some fucking rocks. And then Hermes, from Greek mythology, possessed her body, and she got away from me. She could never outrun me before, but she had the fear of death in her ass that day. And I wasn't the Flash, but I was pretty damn close. And I caught her as she tried to climb the fence, because the one thing I've always been is in great shape. And her little ass was not in great shape. She was in great shape for a little bit because she got away from me, but when she got to that fence, she just couldn't climb the damn fence. And I grabbed her by the top of her pants and pulled her down. And I was getting ready to beat her ass until some hero hit me in the head with some rocks. I know what you're thinking. Why did you call him a hero? Well, anytime a man defends a girl, technically, they're the hero. So I'm kind of the villain in this story. Kind of the villain. Which means I'm like the anti-hero. Now, when he hit me, I had a good grip on my sister. And I did like this to her, and I said, just wait 1 second. And I was about to make the biggest fucking mistake of my life. Oh, no, don't worry. I won the fight. But I still made the biggest mistake of my life, because the guy was sitting down, and he was 13. I'm 15, he's 13, and he's fucking huge. Like Sasquatch huge. So I went over there, and to quote one of my uncles, I used the words, what is your MFN problem? And he didn't have time to answer me, because as soon as he opened his mouth, BOW! I socked him. Biggest mistake of my life. And he stood up, and I was like, oh. You really don't know how big someone is until you're about to fight their ass. So he shoved me, and it was like Dragon Ball Z. I slid into a fighting stance. I had my golf cleats on, and I told the story. So there you go. You can go find it somewhere in here. Long story short, axe kick, and I induced asthma, and the cops came. When the cops came, they picked him up, dusted him off, and they tried to evict us. Okay. So when I moved away for the summer, I went to go live with my father. I didn't know that we had moved out of the projects until I was getting ready to come home. That's the end of that story. So now that you have that war story, or those war stories, let's get into the guts and glory of this video. Alright? I know a fuck ton of martial arts. Alright? Most of my stuff is karate, taekwondo, and Wing Chun and Wushu. Alright? I know enough capoeira to fight a person who does capoeira. I know enough drunken master to fight someone who uses drunken master. What am I saying? I'm the jack of all trades. I pick shit up real quick when it comes to fighting. Alright? If I can see it, I can do it. I'm like a mimic. Alright? If I can see it, I can do it. Add a little bit of research to that shit, and I'm an ace. Alright? So, when I did the Drunken Master on Instagram today, I mentioned that someone does capoeira. Drunken Master, if you only know martial arts out of China, the Drunken Master would be the best way to combat capoeira. Because the sway from Drunken Master is just as important as the Jenga. Alright? So, you gotta know your shit. So if you're gonna come to a dojo, you gotta know your shit. Now, while we're on dojos, here's the part, again, like I said on Instagram, that I'm going to piss off every martial artist on the planet. You do not have to agree with me. It is an opinion. For me, it is proven fact. Alright? Because I'm an anomaly. I can honestly tell you, I can't learn from day one. Alright? You cannot teach me day one tactics. You have to teach me on the level that I'm on. Otherwise, I'm going to fail every time. Alright? When I started taking Taekwondo with Mr. Ennis, God rest his soul, he wanted me to go day one. And we did day one training. I've never completed Taekwondo. I could not get a belt to save my dick, but most of his students couldn't go with me when it came to fighting. And he has put me off to the side many times and asked me, how come you can fight, but you can't do katas? The answer is simple. I was never taught katas. Until I took Taekwondo, I was never taught katas. I was never taught forms. I was taught how to fight. Period. This is a punch. This is how you throw it. This is a foot. This is how you throw a kick. Alright? This is what I was taught. I didn't know shit about Tosan and Tungu and doing the ice cream scoop thing. I didn't learn none of that shit until I took Taekwondo. So I'm not against forms, but they're just not me. I can't teach you something that I don't know. Can I teach you how to fight? Fuck yeah. Can I teach you Tosan, Tungu, and Wang Shang Ti Chao? Fuck no. I can't teach you what I don't know. I can teach you how to fight. Fighting is a lot simpler than people think. Because the thing about fighting is, one, you actually have to know how to fight. That's like the most important thing. It doesn't matter what skill level you bring to the table. What matters is that you actually know how to fight. Because if you haven't really been in a fight, or if you've lost a few, you will learn either the easy way or the hard way if you can fight. But here's the honest truth about fighting. Fighting works on two principles. I hit you, you hit me. Whichever one of us is the toughest is more than likely going to survive the fight long enough to win. No one tells you that when you walk into a dojo. Because they don't want to scare you. It's also bad for business. Alright? But you know what else is bad for business? Lying to your student. No, it's really bad for business. I can't teach you something that I don't know. Alright? Let's get that 1,000% clear. But I have a different way of teaching people things. I'm not going to wax on, wax off Miyagi style. I'm going to teach you from what I can see you do first. If I can see that you can run up the wall and spring off the wall and do a kick like I can do, I know exactly where to start you with. I'm starting you on your level. Belts. I have beaten people who have black belts. I can tell you the one thing that I have not beaten anybody in with black belts, which is BJJ. I suck at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Can I do it? Fuck yeah. Am I gonna win? That depends on who I'm fighting. If I'm on top guard and you don't know some of the shit that I learned in the army, I got a good chance of winning. If you're on side mount and I'm on the bottom, if I don't panic, I can still beat your ass. But if I panic and start struggling because you locking my damn bad hip and shit up, we got problems. But the thing with BJJ is you got to have ground game. You ain't got no ground game, your ass is on the ground. Just that simple. My thing, as I told my drill sergeants in Delta Company, you're not getting me on the goddamn ground for one. I said, because that's just not going to happen. But when we were training, we started on the ground. Had to start on my back, had to learn how to get the guy off a top mount, and then they would transition. As we rolled them off a top mount, they would go into side mount and full guard, then they go into full mount and full guard, back up to the top. So basically, you got some guy rolling around putting his nuts in your face, and then he's getting back on top of your stomach. And then you got to roll him off again, and then you got to go through all the crap and put your nuts in his face and roll off and keep going. And the cycle just keeps continuing. I cheated like 6 times on my partner. I'm sorry. He was like 6'9", and every bit of 250 pounds. And he was a really skinny, tall dude. Big old tall white guy. And here I am 5'3", and I'm like, why did they partner me up with this big-ass dude, man? So every time Drill Sergeant wasn't looking, I headbutt him in his testicles. Was it a fair fight? Fuck no. It wasn't fair for him. Because here's how fighting works. In a fight, you're going to do shit that you probably would think that you would never do. And if that means you're going to hit somebody in the testicles, you're going to hit somebody in the testicles. You may think you won't do that shit, but I will be honest with you, desperate times make you do desperate shit. And you will probably hit someone dead in their shit. Now, if you're going to fight professionally, that shit's illegal. So you're not going to be able to do that. Speaking of fighting illegally, illegally. Speaking of fighting legally, which I mean professionally, I'm going to do that in a second video. I'm going to explain a lot of shit that went on or went wrong in my life. So stay tuned for that.